What's going on, SkinClub community? James Banks here, and I'm back with another video. And I'm going into probably the blockbuster move of 2025. And we thought we had that already with Robs and with Nico. But no, m0NESY going for Falcons. I was very lucky that I have a good relationship with m0NESY. I was able to get him on my podcast, all about Counter-Strike, with Devil Walk, and do the interview when he was still on G2. But we already started to hear that he was going to Falcons. I got all the insight, and I heard a lot of information, and we learned a lot from this interview. It's 2 hours long. Go check it out if you are into that sort of content. But what I thought was crazy, that other players that went to Falcons, people said, yeah, they're going for the money, or they're only going there not to win trophies. Like, this is just a paycheck, for example. They even said this about Nico, who obviously still wants to win a major, still got an incredibly good career ahead of him. People said this about young m0NESY. Now, the reason I can't really get behind this is because you can have whatever opinion you want on Saudi Arabia as a country or Falcons as a Saudi organization. But for m0NESY, he can pretty much go to any team he wanted. He would be an upgrade to any team in Counter-Strike except for Vitality. Vitality could maybe do it if Zyro just says, okay, I'm going to rifle only. And then they put m0NESY as the AWP. Now imagine that, Rob, Zyro, and m0NESY on Vitality. That would be insane. But we're not getting into that. That obviously wasn't something that was going to happen. Just imagine, though. Just imagine. But people saying that m0NESY was going to go just for the paycheck, just to get the money out there, I don't think that would be the case. I feel that, obviously, Nico, big reason he would go. m0NESY has also said publicly before in interviews that he'd love to work with either Blade or Zonic. He gets Zonic with this one as well. And I will say this as well. I feel like, yes, Falcons are spending a lot of money. It was rumored $2.5 million buyout. Rumored, by the way. I have no proof of this, no insight. Just a rumored $2.5 million for his buyout when he only had, it's April now, so he had 6 to 8 months left on his contract. Yeah, he was going to be free at the end of the year. And G2 paid $600,000 for him when he was on Na'Vi Junior, when he was 16 years old, to get him onto his first tier 1 team. I don't think they would like to let him go for free at the end of his contract. So this is a win-win for everyone. Falcon gets him before the major and a couple of events before. He's got his visa for Melbourne. m0NESY will be going there, playing in the Falcons jersey for the first time ever and getting to test things out there. And then it's actually kind of crazy because I would say that this is not the final piece, maybe not even the final 2 moves that Falcons are going to make to be one of the best teams in the world. If we, let's just first of all look at this. I'm going to show you a little thing we got here. So I want to show you guys in detail what we've got. Falcons have definitely spent a lot of money. At first, they were buying spots. So they were buying players to be 3 of a core that would have them high up on the rankings so they still get invited to tournaments. So Zonic came. He's at 531 days in the team. This is like just before, it was after the Paris Major. Snappy, Sunpius, and Madden are the first like core he brings together. And they all joined with Magisk at the same time. They had Boris there already, who came from the other lineup, and that was their 5. Everyone knew that wasn't going to be the end result. Like, this was just, they bought the core from m0NESY to have the high rankings, to be in a good spot, and then they'd have a better position. Simple obviously trialed in there when Boris went. Simple didn't work out both times, by the way. 3 maps for one event, and then 30 maps at a major. They didn't want him. Then they got Nico, but alongside Nico, they took the heroic core of Dexter, Kixan, and Tesses. Now, Dexter obviously has to make way for m0NESY to come in, even though he got his first ever MVP and his first tournament trophy at Bucharest that's just gone. But there's a lot of players moving and changing. Like, Dupree was in there and he went as well. You know, they are aiming for trophies. They're aiming for success. And now, even if you look at it, because of the core they've got, you've got Nico and m0NESY as a core. You probably keep Kixan as well, or at least Magisk. And then you're free to move around some other pieces. Maybe Tessus gets the boot. Maybe Magisk gets the boot. I don't think so, because Magisk and his relationship with Zonic is obviously very strong. And we know what he can do on a grand stage. But either way, you've now got Nico in there, who maybe one day wants to be a leader. Not at the moment, it seems. Who knows what he can do with m0NESY. He's got Zonic as an incredible coach by his side. The potential is huge here. I don't feel like this is a team where they go like retirement home, take the bag, get some money, and don't win tournaments. I feel like they're just 1 or 2 moves, I'll say 1 move for now, away from being one of the teams that's constantly challenging for tier 1 trophies. Obviously, Kosuke was rumored to be a player they were looking at, but lots of teams are looking at him. Doesn't mean he's going to join, but maybe with m0NESY there, it could be an interesting one for them to see him join. But the whole narrative of like, this is a bad move for m0NESY. Also, you guys need to remember that G2, without NiKo, has been struggling. He said many things about G2 in the interview about not being made aware of roster changes, not being happy with what was happening, starting to tilt sometimes at the games, the lack of structure that was happening in G2 as well. These are all things that a young player who is a generational talent, by the way, one of the best players in the world, we call him the baby GOAT, who's turned into the young GOAT now. We call him this for a reason. How much more time do you think he wants to waste? He already did 3 years on G2, 6 trophies. I think it's 3 or 4 MVPs off the top of my mind. And now he gets to be back with NiKo, who helps a lot with him, setting him up, helping him learn, helped him get into tier 1 CS, became basically an older brother in the game to him. And then you put these two back together who know how to work together, know how to be a unit together, and then give them time with the rest of the team. This can be dangerous. Like, this is a golden ticket. Still, I think there's Kickstand's a young in-game leader. I think he can definitely grow. I like what I see from him. And sometimes he frags out pretty hard. But I think maybe a Testes or a Magix will get cut for another star player, because Falcons, just as a team and as an organization, is only aiming for trophies and the gold. And now, ignoring the salary, ignoring the buyouts they paid, if you just think that that's their mentality, we're going to go for the top, we're going to go for the very best, and you want to lift trophies. If you're a player like m0NESY who hasn't had so many trophies, who still wants to win a major like NiKo, and still wants to achieve so much, this could be a place to do it, where he wasn't listened to in G2. Definitely they'll listen to m0NESY and NiKo here. Definitely they'll have input from them. Then with Zonic as well, who, no matter what people say, he still won a trophy, I think, every single year apart from 1 year that he's been active as a coach. He's had huge amounts of success, and people say he's a fraud, which is, he's had problems with his Falcons team, but he did it with Vitality, he did it with Stars. I'm not going to call him a fraud. I think Blade might be the greatest coach of all time for me personally, but him and Zonic are definitely battling it out there. Obviously, Zonic wins in terms of having more majors. But to say m0NESY would only do this for the money, he's not in a position where he needs to worry about that or think about that. For him, he's looking at legacy, he's looking at trophies, he's looking at what MVPs he can get. And you don't have to like the Saudi organization, but if you like NiKo and m0NESY as players and you want to see them succeed, there is a really good chance that they will get what they want here. And that's in getting the right players recruited to the team, building teams around them. That's very important if you're a star player. And you've got 2 star players like that. Look at the consistency NiKo has shown throughout the years. I think this is a huge win move for Falcons. And if you ignore any politics, if you ignore any money spent, and just focus on the pure counterstrike and the team that they have right now and what they might build for the future, it's honestly going to be very impressive. It might be the only one that can actually challenge Vitality if they get in a Vitality era right now, if they go on to do crazy stuff. Then I'm going to do one more thing for you guys. I'm going to show you the announcement video. Because I will say, it wasn't a bad announcement video. I would have liked some more Counter-Strike clips in there. It's pretty cool how they did it with this, the green in the background, the lights, how they were showing him. Also, should have used not a, I don't know if it's an AI generated voice or something like that. Would have been better if they could use my voice. I think if they asked me, I would have happily done it. But it was it brought up a bit of hype. I think it was better than the NiKo video. The NiKo video was very random. Didn't make a lot of sense to the rest of the world audience. But this is pretty hype. Put in full focus. It's all about m0NESY. Classic poses. There you have it. Falcon m0NESY. First event is going to be Melbourne. I'm super excited to see that. This move, for me, is probably the biggest one of 2025 so far. And we're only in April, but I don't think this one's going to be topped because of what this brings. And m0NESY himself said he will sometimes struggle at the beginning of where roster changes happen in a team. But I think he's going to adapt so quickly when he's got NiKo by his side and he can learn from Zonic. So let me know what you guys think of this move. For me, this was an incredible one for m0NESY in the future of his career, but it's one that's to get excited about, just seeing Nico and m0NESY back together and what they can do under Zonic and the future and what it holds for him. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know what you think.